Hi there, and welcome to our first high school football show of the season. I'm Dennis Whitton. I'm here with Carmine Frongillo on my left, David Pevear on my right, two of the foremost authorities on high school football. Now every week we'll have a rotating panel of sports writers and editors to touch upon a number of high school football topics. There will never be a dull moment with this show, believe me. Let's start off with the fact that 2010 looks like the year of the quarterback in the local game. We've got Nick Sparta in Billerica, Sean Conley in Tewksbury, Patrick Dugan in Westford, Matt Silver in Drake. Dave, what do you make of this apparent...
Well, I think some of it, at least the teams I've seen, it's this sort of the evolution of the spread offenses. They were able to put up some pretty good numbers. I was at the Westford Drake game last week, and it was kind of a difference between a quarterback who had a lot of experienced people around him, Patrick Dugan, and he threw 4 touchdown passes, very efficient, and then Matt Silva, who's still a sensational player for Drake, and they're battling a little inexperience, and he was kind of maybe trying to carry a little bit the load himself, but put up great numbers as a great player. And it was actually Rich McKenna of Westford after the game mentioned to me that he thinks this is the year of the quarterback locally. Obviously, Sparta kind of is the headliner.
Yeah, Nick is the headliner. Carmine, what do you think makes him so special?
Well, first off, just his athletic ability. He can make plays. He's athletic. He can throw. He can run. I mean, I think you could probably, as great a quarterback as he is, you could probably play him as a receiver, especially a slot receiver. He might be the best slot receiver. Probably is the best running back in the MVC. And people forget, I hear a lot of the Division I schools that are looking at him. I understand like Florida, Alabama have shown interest, Oregon, according to Coach Flynn, but I think he could be a Division I defensive back. If you ever watch him make plays on defense or as a returner, it's his athleticism. And like Dave said, these spread offenses, the quarterback is the guy. If you don't have a kid who's athletic and can throw, you can't run that offense because you're essentially, most of those teams, I'm sure if you look at it, the quarterback's the number one runner, the thrower. Basically, you run the show.
Yeah, I mean, Sparta, I haven't seen him this year. I was there in the game that he got hurt against Everett last year. But even when he ran the ball last year, he has that kind of that forward lean that the great tailbacks have. He's, I agree with Carmine. You could probably play him pretty much anywhere, and he would be a standout player.
You know what the biggest thing in him is? He just makes it look easy. I mean, and there aren't many kids who can do that. He makes plays, and they're like effortless, and you can see the kids. I mean, a couple of games.
We made a big deal.
He turns the corner, he's just gone. No one's going to catch him.
And not to interrupt you, but we made a big deal about Wes Welker coming back from his torn ACL, and Sparta did it last December. He was ready to go by the season opener this year for them, and I'm sure it's not like being a professional athlete where I'm sure Wes Welker has the availability of just everybody to get him ready. As we know, Nick's working down at the local Dunkin' Donuts, and he's rehabbing.
And basically, with his first 2 games, his knee injury certainly hasn't hindered him any. He's just good, if not better than ever. So, Speaking of quarterbacks, it's Methuen-Billerica this week. Cal Carroll of Methuen's one of the kids.
He threw about 5 TDs last week?
Last week, I think you're going to talk about big matchups, and actually those are the 2 top teams in each, going in, the favorites, Billerica and Methuen in the MVC Division I and II. That could be the game of the year, even though it's early in the season.
That game will be webcast live on lowellsun.com, so if you can't make it down to Marshall Middle School, check in on the website. Let's talk about Lowell High, one of the surprise 2-0 teams in the area. Well, maybe a surprise, maybe not, under Coach Jeff Moore. My question is, are they for real, or is it a product of who they played? Is this rotating quarterback system going to work in the long run? Is it going to be a question of injuries? What do you think, Carmine, about Lowell High?
Well, I've covered both of Lowell's first 2 games, and I definitely don't think there's anything fluky. They beat Masco, is traditionally one of the top programs in Cape Ann, and they were a power at any level last year. They've lost some kids, but still a very solid program. Nashua South is always traditionally one of the top teams in New Hampshire, Division I or Class L. First off, the quarterbacks, both kids can play. You get Kyle Edwards played as a sophomore on a team that I believe went 8-3. He's a proven commodity. The kid RJ Noel is just very athletic. In any program, I think he could thrive. And the funny part is they do every other series, and there's no drop-off whatsoever. And it's funny, I would think you'd need to get into a rhythm. Both kids can they're interchangeable. They go out, and they don't seem to drop off a beat. I think Lowell's maybe a little bit better runner, a little bit better athlete. Kyle Edwards, I like him. He has very good game management. He has the experience, as Dave said, in that, he knows what he's doing, and he makes plays. I mean, it was funny talking to Coach Moore last week. There are certain things he loves about each kid, and he said if you ever put them together, you would have, just a great high school quarterback. But he loves what they're doing. Will it hurt them down the road? That I don't know. I mean, there might be a game where one of them's doing a little better than the other. That remains to be seen. But right now, it's working. They're good defensively. They have Angel Escalera. Running back, he didn't even play last week. He only played a couple of plays, and he's on the mend. They got Lawrence this week, and I think they got a good chance to go 3-0, which I don't think anybody had them pegged as a 3-0 team to start the season.
Haven't seen Lowell in a while. When one quarterback isn't playing, do they play elsewhere on offense? Or?
No, they basically just wrote every other series, and they both could play. I'm taking it. Matter of fact, the one thing I would say is they have a very young secondary. Very good athletes. A couple times they've gotten beaten on big plays, and a lot of it's more so just being out of position or learning things. So I think their defense is going to get better as the season goes along. And, I definitely think Lowell's for real. They're going to be a factor in this. They'll be right there. I mean, I'm not saying they can beat a Bill Ricker or a Chelmsford yet, but I wouldn't be surprised. They're going to give those teams all they can handle. They'll be right there with those teams.
Yeah, as I say, I haven't seen Lowell. I'll have to rely on.
They picked up the no huddle pretty quick, haven't they?
Yes, they get up there. They're very quick.
That amazes me.
They learned it. They do it. I'm sure they've been drilled. Knowing what I know of Jeff into them, I'm sure they can do it in their sleep. And last week with Nashua Sept, I don't think there was one huddle in the whole game. You got both teams. I never thought I'd see the day where the whole game we wouldn't have a huddle.
It's the same thing. I mean, I was at still running pretty much the same offense at Drake last week, and it is. I remember back when I played high school football, and I'm pretty impressed with some of these kids. I mean, the quarterback just stands there, looks over to the sideline. All the kids are looking at wristbands for formations, and somehow it all goes off well.
We had better memories when we played, though. I mean, we never needed a wristband. We knew the plays. Either that or you take it out if you didn't know them. So.
Well, that's going to wrap it up for this week on the Lowell Sun High School Football Show. We'll see you next week, same time, same channel. Remember to follow high school football coverage in the Sun and online at lowellsun.com. And don't forget to play Beat Rick every week. Thank you.